welcome back to my channel. My name is Cerise and today's topic is why dieting never works and why getting knowledge is better. Because if you're doing something and you don't understand why you're doing it, nothing will last. That's why when you start going to the gym, they always tell you to find your why, or for your purpose in general, just to find your why. And when you're dieting, you don't really understand the process. It's hard to continue when you don't understand what you're doing. So that's why I'm saying knowledge is important. So we're just gonna dive into it during this video. So yeah, let's get started. Number one, dieting will never work long term. And the reason for that is restriction, it leads to obsession. If you tell yourself you can't have something, you will want that exact thing. So let's say I can't stop eating chocolate, which is kind of true, but I know how to control myself enough. But let's say I can't control myself around chocolate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to learn all the bad things chocolate can do. How they spike my insulin, how they stop you from sleeping well, some little things like that, so I can eat it in moderation. Because if you don't understand the drawbacks, why would you stop eating it? You don't even understand why it's wrong, beside the calories, of course. But if you understand health-wise why you shouldn't do it, then you'll be able to stick to it way longer. For example, I won't have to worry about that for a long time, but if I get kids one day, I don't want them to have eating issues, so I know I have to resolve those issues now. For me, that's a good enough why to eat well. You'll naturally not crave foods that are bad for you. And I mean in a sense, not like, oh, you should eat ice cream, brownies, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, me personally, I don't like craving sugar because I know it takes away my collagen. I know it's making me age faster. And the last thing I'd want for myself is to reduce my life expectancy. So just to summarize, this is what I mean by knowledge. Once you know, you don't want to make your life shorter. You don't want to cut your life short for your children. You want to be a good example for your children. Then doing those things will become so much easier. Number two, it's kind of what I just said, but understand why you shouldn't eat certain food. For example, you have to know which food causes what. So, is this food gonna cause inflammation? Is this food going to cause some gut issues? Is this food going to cause some hormonal imbalance? Once you know that, then this brownie is not worth. So you're telling me if I eat this brownie, I'm gonna lose some collagen, I'm gonna make my life shorter, I'm gonna look older faster, my gut's going to be inflamed, it's gonna mess up my hormones, and also I'll feel guilty from just eating it. So it's not worth it anymore. How can you crave something that's that bad for you? One thing I can think of is when I started going to the office like 2 or 3 years. Oh no, my god, it was 5 years ago. But yeah, when I started going to the office, my mom, she would always pack me some fried rice. And I would always crash out after my lunch. I would feel exhausted, I kept yawning, and luckily I had one of my coworkers tell me like, maybe it's the fried rice that you're eating. And he was right, obviously. And once I cut it out, my life just felt better. I didn't feel as sluggish. I didn't feel tired. So I don't crave fried rice because I know how it makes my body react. Number three, find alternatives that actually satisfy you. So you don't need to cut out your favorite foods. You can just replace them. For example, me personally, I eat a vegan, organic, plant-based Nutella, and one serving, which is one tablespoon, it's 2 grams of sugar because they use coconut sugar, and it's not as bad as cane sugar or just regular sugar. I would need to eat 10 tablespoons or even 20 tablespoons to match a soda. For me, it's so much more worth eating that than going for a soda. or going for a chocolate bar because the calorie is so much lower, so I don't feel the guilt. But who hates eating a Nutella toast? And also, that's another part of it, I use protein bread, which is really good if you're working out, but the way they get the protein, it's 7 grams by the way, but the way they get it is by using gluten. So it's not the best, healthiest bread out there, but it's definitely something to consider. So whenever I eat Nutella toast, I'm eating 2 grams of sugar and 7 grams of protein. And I guess there's 2 grams of protein in my Nutella, so it's about a 10-gram of protein snack, and I feel like I'm indulging every time I eat it. So I'm not sure what exactly your alternatives would look like, but if you're drinking soda, try kombucha, so at least you're getting some health benefits from it. Number 4, restriction versus awareness. So restriction basically equals punishment, but awareness means empowerment. When you know what certain food do to you, it becomes a choice because you realize what's happening in the moment. And I feel like a lot of people like to be ignorant about those things because if they don't know how bad this food is, why would they stop eating it? There's no guilt because I don't know how bad it is for me. But once you learn why it's bad for you or why it's good for you, your choices are going to change. Personally, I could not eat something for a long time if I knew this could cause me cancer, increase my odds for cholesterol, give me diabetes. I feel too guilty to make that conscious choice of eating those things. So once you're aware of what can cause what, that's when it'll become more of a choice. Number 5, knowledge is freedom. So whenever you educate yourself, that's when you can end some cycles. For example, for binge eating, if you don't understand why you're binge eating, why would it stop? You can't just decide, I'm going to diet the next day, and then your problems disappear. No, you really have to go to the root cause. And once you know, then you're able to make those informed decisions. And also, don't be shy to reach for professional help, therapy, and stuff like that. And if you can't afford therapy, which is pretty valid, you can use ChatGPT, low key. Just pretend, like ask ChatGPT to roleplay as a therapist, and you'll get good advice from that, I promise. Number 6, it's epigenetics and the queen bee effect. So I just wanted to add this one in because I feel like people don't understand how important the diet is nowadays. Like there's still people out there that think cancer just happens, when in reality it happens because of your diet, probably like 90% of the time, and like the other 10% is like pollution, like you're exposed to someone smoking all the time, or you're working next to a factory that's doing a lot of pollution, something like that. And the reason why I'm saying this is in the book How to Not Age, which I strongly suggest to read, they talk about bees. And you know the only difference between a worker bee and a queen bee, it's their diet. They are born the same, but since the queen eat royal jelly, she becomes a queen. So it's the same thing for human. And that's one of the quotes I like to use is, you are what you eat. This is the prime example of that. Number 7, understanding the benefits of food quality and calorie restrictions. So cutting calories will make you live longer. It'll make you age slower. But it's also important about the quality. So if you eat 1,500 calories of just junk, you will have a shorter life than someone that's eating 3,000 calories of pure whole foods. So once you know that, why would you go reach out for the junk food? And also, that's another part. I don't want to go into details into this video about this, but if you can't control your eating and you know all these things are bad for you, but you continue to eat it, there's probably some self-harm involved, and you might need therapy, and that's okay. So sometimes you will need outside help to help you, so don't forget to reach out for those type of things. If you're malnourished or you're eating garbage, you will live shorter than someone that's eating twice as much as you and higher quality. Alright, that was it for today's video. If you have any more advice, leave a comment. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.